watch, say goodbye to my roof. I traded security for an imperfect map. Since then, I only carry my soul, my leather and my pen, and an old sorrow that the dust completes. I saw cities born and loves in. I saw the morning sun on the sand of Miami, but each stop at each empty station, the only thing that never left me was a melody. I've slept in bus stations, in roadside motels, eating dust and stale bread, but I didn't grimace, 'cause the baggage was light and the destination was a journey. And the best friend one can have travels with me. They say it's sadness, I call it soul. It's the voice of what burns, the pain that turned into rock and roll. My blues, the best company. It plays all night, embraces me during the day. My blues, never lets me down. It's the soundtrack to every beat of my heart. There's no jealousy, no rush, no goodbye. My blues is the soundtrack of my life. I stopped in Chicago, in the land of steel, and when I saw a couple kissing in the middle of time, I remembered your smile, the whiskey and the summer. And for a moment, the longing tightened my lungs. The bottle of bourbon was open in the suitcase, and I felt the temptation to drown that sorrow. But the jukebox played, and the riff that called to me was a minor chord, the old song that saved me. She told me, boy, don't cry over a name. The road awaits you, and life isn't hungry for tears, only for movement. So I paid the bill and followed the lament. The car started, the engine vibrated in my chest. Longing is just a curve, I always find a way. They say it's sadness, I call it soul. It's the voice of what burns, the pain that turned into rock and roll. My blues, the best company. It plays all night, embraces me during the day. My blues never lets me down. It's the soundtrack to every beat of my heart. There's no jealousy, no rush, no goodbye. My blues is the soundtrack of my life. My blues, the best company. It plays all night long, embraces me during the day. My blues never lets me down. It's a soundtrack to every beat of my heart. There's no jealousy, no rush, no goodbye. My blues is the soundtrack of my life. The map doesn't show the lesson you learn. You think you're escaping, but life understands you. I travel inward to find my tone. And the blues is the mirror, it doesn't let me go off the sound. If the tire goes flat, if the rain doesn't stop, the guitar cries a band that supports me. I don't need anyone, just a feeling in my veins. This music is the only one that never trots. My blues, the best company. It plays all night, embraces me during the day. My blues, never lets me down. It's the soundtrack to every beat of my heart. There's no jealousy, no rush, no goodbye. My blues is the soundtrack of my life. My blues is the soundtrack of my life. My blues is the soundtrack of my life.
The clock on the wall was an old acquaintance, worn down by time, a silent witness. Its slow hands mocked the urgency that consumed me. Each tick-tock a reminder of what was fading away. In that dark room, the only light came from a crack, a pale ray of moonlight. My throat, dry and rough, ached with every swallow, a tight knot preventing words from escaping. The smell of mold and cold coffee lingered, mixed with the bitter aroma of cigarettes. The crumpled sheet held her absent form, a ghostly memory that refused to disappear. My heavy eyes wandered through the void, seeking peace, refuge from the inner storm. But they found only the echo of an abyss that opened with each breath. The city outside slept, indifferent to my pain. I was a spectator of my own ruin, a prison of my history, condemned to relive each moment in an endless loop of regret and longing. The blues of my soul cries in an endless lament. Each note is a tear that runs inside me. The melody of loss, an echo in the darkness, in the smoke of my cigarette. The illusion of forgiveness. The almost empty matchbox witness to countless lit cigarettes. the last match struck, a spark that illuminated the abyss of my loneliness. The flame kissed the cigarette, and the smoke, dense and bluish, began to dance, whispering her name. Each drag a deeper dive into melancholy. The bitter taste of tobacco was a reminder of the bitterness in my soul. The overflowing ashtray was a monument to my insomnia. The guitar, leaning against the wall, seemed to call to me, a silent invitation to release the pain. But my voice was hoarse, unable to intone the lament. The bottle of whiskey, my only confidant, each sip a momentary relief, a fog that blurred reality. But she would always return, more naked and cruel, her perfume still on the pillow. An olfactory torture reminded me of everything I had lost. The blues of my soul cried in an endless lament. Each note is a tear that runs inside me. The melody of loss, an echo in the darkness, in the smoke of my cigarette, the illusion of forgiveness. The melody that echoed in my mind was an old blues of broken hearts and lost loves, a sad harmony, a slow rhythm like the steps of a tired man. My fingers felt the strings, searching for the chords to give voice to the suffering. The sound was hoarse and out of tune, a reflection of my soul. But I played to ward off the silence, to give shape to the pain. I saw her face in every chord, the smile in every vibro. I was a heartbroken blues man, condemned to play the same melody night after night. The whiskey glass, now empty, rested on the table, a silent witness to my vigil. The ice had melted, leaving a trail of cold water, like tears running down her face. The bottle tilted beside it was dry, its contents consumed by my thirst for oblivion. But oblivion was a mirage, an oasis in the desert of my memory, which always moved further away with every step I took. Morning was beginning to dawn outside, its first rays of sun peeking through the cracks in the curtain, announcing a new day, a new cycle of pain and longing. The birds began to sing their cheerful melodies, cruelly contrasting with the blues of my soul. I felt exhausted, physically and mentally, but the idea of sleeping was terror for her. Sleep, I knew, would bring nightmares, visions of her smiling, dancing, loving me. And I couldn't bear the pain of waking up, of seeing reality without her once more. My eyes swollen and red,
street lights are asleep. The city has calmed its throat. The phone doesn't ring, the door doesn't startle. I closed the curtain, locked hope outside, because the best conversation I have is only at this hour. My throne is the warm, dark leather armchair where time stands still and the future is a glass. I hold the ice cracks loudly in the silence, a sound so sweet it pulls me from my handkerchief. I spent the whole day listening to empty words, broken promises and false joys. So many people shouting, so much noise in my mind. But what calms the soul is silence. Suddenly they say loneliness is a flaw. I call it peace. It's the luxury of being myself and not looking back. My silence and my whiskey, the best company. No silly questions, no false irony. My silence and my whiskey, they never let me down. The fire in my throat is the peace of my heart. There's no goodbye, no rush, no demands. My silence and my whiskey, my eternal guarantee. The ritual is sacred, the glass is crystal, the color of the bourbon is amber. A personal sunset, I slowly swirl the liquid. I smell the woody scent. Each sip is a pause in a hurried world. I learned that the answer isn't in the noise, but at the bottom of the glass, when the world is just a murmur. I've had love, luxury, and too many friends, but all that one day left me behind. Silence, it doesn't lie, it only gives me back what I am. Without makeup or filter, without the theater of a show. The whiskey burns and cleanses my soul of dirt, reminding me that life is short, but the night is whole. The cigarette smoke, the only dance in the air, while the blues on vinyl helps me breathe. They say loneliness is a flaw. I call it peace. It's the luxury of being myself and not looking back. My silence and my whiskey, the best company. No silly questions, no false irony. My silence and my whiskey, they won't let me down. The fire in my throat is the peace of my heart. There's no goodbye, no hurry, no demands. My silence and my whiskey, my eternal guarantee. Who needs a chorus if my echo answers? Who needs a hug if the warmth of the whiskey hides the coldness of the world, the absence that remains? The glass is in my hand, and silence has embraced me. It's not an addiction, it's just a choice. It's just knowing how to live with the only duo that will never make me suffer. My silence and my whiskey, the best company. No silly questions, no false irony. My silence and my whiskey, they won't let me down. The fire in my throat is a piece of my heart. There's no goodbye, no hurry, no demands. My silence and my whiskey, my eternal guarantee. Silence and whiskey, my eternal guarantee.
I left my coat on the sand, my shoes on the sidewalk, and came to talk to you at the edge of dawn. The stars are few, the moon is just a speck, but your beauty, see, is not at risk. You are the only force I see that is sincere, that strikes and retreats, but always waits for me. Your voice is a whisper, a deep secret, the purest music I've ever heard in the world. You ask for nothing, you demand no promises. You only bring me the salt of life. Without haste I look at you and see in you the woman I await, so vast and silent, mistress of my zero. They say it's madness to love what you can't touch, but the peace you give me, no words can replace. Oh, sea of silence, my eternal song. Your waves are heard, the peace in my heart. Oh, sea of silence, don't let me down. This calm beauty is my obsession. There's no shouting, no hurry, no betrayal. Your immensity is my prayer. I once loved the shouting, the luxury and the confusion. Party women in heels and lipstick, they were whirlwinds that tore me from the ground, but left me empty, without direction. But you see are different. Your power is in the pause. Your strength is the silence that hides your cause. Your gentle coming and going, this unparalleled sway, reminds me of a walk, the way she looked at me. I dream of a woman who brings me calm, who doesn't need a spotlight to fill my day. Someone immense and profound, without needing to speak, like your sand that no one can steal. They say it's madness, love what you can't touch, but the peace you give me, no words can replace. Oh, sea of silence, my eternal song. Your waves are heard, the peace in my heart. Oh, sea of silence, don't let me down. This calm beauty is my obsession. There's no shouting, no hurry, no betrayal. Your immensity is my prayer. I carry loneliness in my chest, longing in my eyes. Teach me your rhythm, see, to retreat in order to advance. I just wanted one day to see you in a form, to understand if your strength
resides in her pupils. Oh, sea of silence, my eternal song. Your waves are peace in my heart. Oh, sea of silence, don't let me down. This calm beauty is my obsession. There's no shouting, no hurry, no betrayal. Your immensity is my prayer. Sea of silence, your immensity is my prayer. After seeing what I'm about to tell you, I sat by the roadside. My uniform still dirty with mud. I let out a low lament, as if the world needed to hear it before the first note. I told myself it wasn't fair to come back alive and lose precisely what gave meaning to my life. The guitar trembled in my fingers, and the war that ended outside still lived within me. And I still ask, what's the point of me being here and alive if I'm already dead inside? I remembered her waiting for me at the gate the day I left, saying I would return to her arms, saying that nothing could break us, but time and war twist promises and bends hopes. I return with invisible scars, with nights that never sleep. But I return to her for the hot coffee, for the bare feet dancing on the ground, for the kiss we swore to keep. Baby, when I arrived at our street, the door was wide open, the light was too bright, and the laughter coming from inside wasn't just hers. My weary heart knew before it understood. I entered, stepping on memories, and saw another man holding her waist, as if occupying the place that was once mine. She turned her face away, full of guilt, and I remained standing like a soldier waiting for orders that never come back to me. Love that the world took from me, come back to me before I break again. Come back to me, even if it's just a thought. Come back to me, because without you I sing to survive. She lowered her head slowly and said she'd try to wait for me, but the silence was too long, the fear too deep, and that I had returned too late. These words pierced my chest like bullets I couldn't avoid. I left my suitcase on the sidewalk, and walking through the empty night, I ended up at the old corner bar where I learned playing. I asked for an empty stage just to scream the pain that couldn't fit in my body. Come back to me, even if you never return. Come back to me, even if time doesn't bring you back. Come back to me, because every note I play still calls your name. Because without you I sing to survive. And while the pain turned into music, I realized that this might be my destiny, to transform loss into voice, to transform war into verse, to transform your goodbye into blues. And those who hurt seem to feel it too, because the pain of losing someone you love is universal. Come back to me, even if it's just a memory. Come back to me, even if life follows another dance. Come back to me, because a soldier returned homeless but found a song, and it's in that song that I live now.
The blues of return, with a touch of slide, begins melancholy, reminiscent of a farewell at the station. The drumbeat is martial at first, but soon becomes a slow and heavy shuffle, like a broken heart deep in resonant bass. I was in my early 20s, wearing an iron uniform in fear. I swore by this land and by our love that I would return home. With medals of glory, your white handkerchief was the last color in my memory, while the train cut through the gray winter sky. Each of your letters was a shield, a hell of longing that I endured to see you smile. In that muddy field, I learned not to sleep, to count the days and not to stop dreaming. I returned, not with glory, but with the scar of the place. The keys turned in the rusty door, but the house didn't smell of love, only of surprise in the early morning Nina Simone's vinyl
was playing at a low volume, but the sound of your laughter wasn't coming from under my coat on. The glass on the table wasn't mine, and the clock broke the exact moment I saw your hand in it peacefully. In my favorite chair, the world stopped, and my pain, once the pain of war, turned into wounded pain. I didn't scream, nor did I cry. I just smiled, a cold smile, the smile of someone who lost everything in a void. The hero returned, but love, that's another story. The blues of return is the pain that taught me that love is a minefield where I will no longer go. I took the silver road, the old car creaking. I left betrayal behind and learned to breathe. The beauty of the world doesn't fit in a room. My heart will no longer be a burden. I sold everything, traded metals for gasoline, aimless, just dust and an old record player. I abandoned my uniform, donned the skin of a wanderer. The roar of the engine was my only advice. I crossed the painted desert under a blazing sun, where solitude was just vastness without a marked destination. I saw shooting stars streaked in the darkness, a sky so big that the problem was only mine. In New Orleans, jazz cleansed my soul. The colors of the bay has brought back calm. The taste of gumbo and the street music told me that life isn't just about you. I met wise hobos, silent backpackers, each with their own story of love and sins. I learned that the world is an open book, and I was reading pages I had never noticed, trapped under that same roof. The pain became just another mile traveled, and its memory, a forgotten landscape. The blues of return is the pain that taught me that love is a minefield where I'll no longer go. I took the silver road, the old car creaking. I left betrayal behind and learned to breathe. The beauty of the world doesn't fit in a room. My heart will no longer be a burden. At every turn, a new rhythm and blues play. The war took my innocence, but the road gave me freedom. I thought love was the safe harbor, but it was just an anchor holding me to the wall. Now I am wind, I am sand, I am endless asphalt. Destiny is not a person, it's what lives within me. There is no more us, only the promise of the horizon. The strength I sought in the war, I found in my source. In the steering wheel, in the dust, in the song I now sing. It's not pain, it's just the melody of a wholly new beginning. Blues of return is the pain that taught me that love is a minefield where I will no longer go. I took the silver road, the old car creaking. I left betrayal behind and learned to breathe. The beauty of the world doesn't fit in a room. My heart will no longer be a burden.
blues of return is the pain that taught me that love is a minefield where I will no longer go. I took the silver road, the old car creaking. I left betrayal behind and learned to breathe. The beauty of the world doesn't fit in a room. My heart will no longer be your burden.
Solo blue slide guitar, slow and melodious, with a deep tremolo imitating a lament. The bass and drums enter with a heavy, dragged out shuffle like a broken heart still trying to keep the beat. The world didn't end with a slam door or a torn note in the early morning. The pain now has a blue light glow. It came through the scroll in my hand, through the cracked screen. I didn't see your face, nor smell your perfume. I only saw the caption, living every single day. The photo in Greece, the glass of bubbly, and the new smile glued to yours so distant. You left me here alone in the dust, but on the social network you turn into a bonfire lit and perfect. They say true love doesn't need Wi-Fi, but your life is an eternal lie. My blues doesn't need Wi-Fi. She lives on streaming. The cracked screen hurts less than a fake smile. My blues doesn't need Wi-Fi. She lives on streaming. The cracked screen hurts less than a fake smile. I stalked you in the rain, saw you spinning on the feed, and noticed your eyes no longer knew how to shine. You have expensive makeup and a poet's caption, but the emptiness in your soul no app can fix. You traded me for likes for a mirrored stage, where the applause of the web hides the pain in your knee. You post the lunch, the coffee and the trip, but your heart is just a fleeting page. I know your new love is just a stand-in, that happiness is a plan, not a constant feeling. It's a stage setup, a show for the crowd. They say true love doesn't need Wi-Fi, but your life is an eternal lie. My blues doesn't need Wi-Fi. She lives on streaming. The cracked screen hurts less than a fake smile. Blues doesn't need Wi-Fi. She lives on streaming. The cracked screen hurts less than a fake smile. glass shatter. The sound was more honest than any status in the air. Enough for scrolling through a life that doesn't belong to me. I trade your life for my penance. The pain is real, but the blues is too. And the truth of the blues doesn't need 3 in faith. My blues doesn't need Wi-Fi. She lives on streaming. The cracked screen hurts less than her fake smile. Blues doesn't need Wi-Fi. She lives on streaming. The cracked screen hurts less than her fake smile. The guitar plays a fast, dirty, and challenging solo with wah-wah, symbolizing anger and liberation. The drum shuffle gains strength and abruptly stops, leaving only the sound of the slide guitar echoing, breaking the silence with a final raw and sudden chord, like the sound of glass shattering.